One second, guys.
Welcome back to Squawk Box this morning. Expedia shares weaker on the back of fourth quarter results. The company expects growth to slow and says it remains cautious due to ongoing macro uncertainty. Joining us right now in an exclusive interview is Expedia's CEO, Ariane Gorin. Good morning to you. Help us understand what's going on in the travel space. And then I want to talk a little bit about some of the technology questions that I think are starting to arise about some of these companies more broadly. But when you think about just what the outlook says.
What is going on, guys? Good to see everybody. So we have CPI coming out in 9 minutes. Let's just talk about expectations for a second. In terms of expectations, it's expected to come in, which is wild, at 2.5% year over year, 0.3% core, 0.3% month over month. I don't particularly think that this data matters that much based on what I see in the markets. And if you guys been following the videos, I don't particularly think that this is a healthy market. And I think that this appears calm on the surface. We haven't really gone anywhere since October. We're in the same range. So if you take a look at QQQ or SPY, we're in the exact same range since October. But beneath the surface, stocks are moving violently, right? So Microsoft is down, 30%. Netflix is down 50%. If you look, even Google is down now 10%. Actually, even a little bit more, maybe more like 12%. Meta is down. Nvidia's flat. So beneath the surface, and this is not even considering bullshit stocks like CoreWeave or Nebius or Iron. These stocks are down, 50, 60%. Robinhood is down like 50%. So even though the indices look okay, if you didn't see what was going on beneath the surface, I think that type of dispersion and volatility is increasing. Now, I don't particularly think that the market is just going to start crashing from here. I think that in the next couple weeks, maybe we get, another little bounce or so. I don't know that the NASDAQ, I particularly don't think the NASDAQ will make a high soon. I think the S&P can slightly make a new all-time high, nothing too crazy, but you guys know my forecast I've shared with you since December. Let me see if I can pull it up actually. We have CPI in 6 minutes. Where is my forecast? Something like this, right? Where February, March-ish, we start dropping and we get a really deep correction, in my opinion. And then, a rally to finish off the year. But we still have that weekly gap on SPX that is not addressed yet. So if you look at SPX, there's quite a bit of daily gaps. I don't really care about that, but on the weekly side, we have this one here from Liberation Day, and I can't think of, I couldn't find another gap that is left to be addressed. Now, a lot of people point to this April 2020 gap. This is not, in my opinion, a real gap here, because that weekly candle had a wick. Like, this is a volume imbalance, but it's not a true gap in the sense that this one is, right? Where you don't even have wicks that are covering that gap. So I do think that it's plausible that the market gets down there at some point. It may not even be as clean as, say, last year, because Liberation Day was very fast. We just had we already had started a little correction before, and then I think it was April 2nd was Liberation Day. That just ripped the Band-Aid off. But this essentially happened really quickly. I'm not Nostradamus. I don't know how this will look, but for sure, I'm not too confident on the overall market here. But you guys that are familiar with this channel already know about that. Now, it's funny because last Friday, a week ago, we had like a 2% day and everyone was celebrating, and we just gave all that back. But that day, you know, I was getting messages from plebs talking about, oh my God, like, this is the bottom. Why didn't you tell us that the market would bottom here? And it's, you know, when you see messages like that or reactions like that, these are unserious people, or I shouldn't say that, maybe untrained people, right? Like, one day's price action does not determine what is cooking under the lid, to be honest. So, you know, some stocks look okay, like consumer staples look great. Energy starting to look really nice, but you know, we are definitely seeing a beating up of technology stocks, and it's not even chip stocks. If you look at chip stocks are actually doing pretty well. So if you look at the SOXL ETF, it's near the most recent highs, which match the highs from July 2024. So far, it's not even the chip stocks that's doing the worst. It's the actual technology stocks that have actually officially entered a correction. So we'll see. But today, you know, we did on NQ, we did address a very important level, which was the regular trading hours gap from last week that I have highlighted here. So, you know, I particularly don't care if CPI is good or bad, because the reaction that happens today, and even that carries over into Monday, is not a real reaction to CPI, right? So CPI can come in hot and the market can just be oversold in a major area and run, and everyone's going to ask, why is the market rallying? And the same will happen vice versa, right? So your job as a trader, at least in the short term, is to try to spot where the manipulation is based on news, and then try to trade the counter move. But let's see, CPI is coming out in 1 minute. Miss your Indian accent? Yeah, it's a little early for that. It's a little early for that. All right, let's see what happens.
Welcome back to Squawk Box. We are waiting for the delayed CPI, and it is just crossing. And an upside surprise here, or a downside surprise, year over year at 2.4, had been expected at 2.5. And I think this is the owner's equivalent rent coming in at a low 0.2%. Energy down 1.5%, gasoline down 3.2%, new vehicle sales up 0.2. I am looking for the core number. CPI year over year 2.4, export energy, that came in at consensus plus 2.5%. And real earnings were pretty good, up 0.5% after declining in the prior month. So this looks like a good CPI number. You did have, by the way, a tick down in yields, as you might imagine. They were down at 4.10, now they're down 4.07. So a relatively big move in the 10-year. And let's look at what happened in the stocks. They were negative going into this number. I think this gives the Fed some leeway here. I'm going to try to look at the individual sectors here, but it looks like this is overall a very tame CPI. The fear going into this, Kelly, we've had 4 Januaries in a row of upside surprises or relatively elevated inflation. This would be the month where price increases are passed along. It didn't look like that happened. What I was unable to look at and what I will look at is the goods category.
So let's show 407. We were at 420 on the 10-year on Wednesday morning after that jobs report. Just show everyone, if you can, in the back real quickly, the whole Treasury complex, because again, on a week where we've heard that David Einhorn is betting on lower short-term rates. You just heard from the Treasury Secretary saying this is hopefully the game plan, that you can have a strong economy and low yields. And a weaker than expected CPI now has the 10-year at 408. So we're starting to look back at that 4% level. We only briefly went below back in October of last year. And the 2-year is falling as well, as you can see, down to 341. Steve, quick last comment, very quickly, on the Fed.
Yeah, I'm looking at this commodities sector. This is the goods sector. And we're just not seeing the pass along that people expected inside the goods that might be tariffed here. So maybe we've been there, done that. We did have an increase in those goods from tariffs, and maybe we're at the point where that's a done deal now, which would be a very positive development. And just looking up, the energy complex helped. Food up a little bit, so medical care costs up a little bit, but it was that shelter number coming in at 0.2 that really, I think, helped the overall index, Kelly.
Immediately sent futures into the green. We'll see if they stay there. Crypto getting a bit as well.
Yeah.
That's saying something right now. Steve, thank you. Really appreciate it. Again,
Sure.
Trying to stay positive. Let's get back out to Joe, who is in Pebble Beach with much more. Joe?
Yep, I am. And earlier on Squawk Box, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announcing the launch of a whistleblower website in an effort to root out financial fraud.
We are encouraging whistleblowers who know about.
All right, so CPI came in less than expected. When you see this huge downward revision, so last month was 2.7 year over year, and then they said we're expecting 2.5. You just know that it's going to come as expected or below. So it came in at 2.4. Even core came in lower than, CPI month over month came in lower than expected. Core came in as expected at 0.3 month over month. So whether you believe the numbers or not, that's not my concern. It's a really good print, or at least what they gave us is a really good print. But like I said, I don't think that it matters whether CPI was hot or not. I think that where we are, we took a major form of liquidity, which was the gap, the RTH gap from, where is this? This one right here, which was our target yesterday. But that RTH gap right there is where NASDAQ ended up. So I would not be surprised to see a bounce here. Now, you have to be a little careful when trading this, because that 830 low would likely get taken on at least one index. So that 830 low, this right here is obviously the manipulative move, and that 830 low will likely get taken. So you wait for that before then determining what is your real trade. But you can see here right now, gold is pumping as well. I do have some calls on GLD. We saw a massive print on GLD yesterday. Let me see if I can find it, what I posted in the Discord. There was like the 475 calls on GLD was insane. Oh, it was this one here. The 475 calls had 187,000 contracts at the ask, and that expired Feb 20. Now, I personally don't trade out of the money options that short expiration, but that and the fact that we were sitting on the 921 EMA, and I thought gold was going to bounce regardless if we had a good or a bad print, because right now it has sort of the benefit of trading like a risk on asset, but also a risk off asset. So it catches a bid from support levels regardless. Like in bad news, gold catches a bid, and in good news, it catches a bid. But I'm waiting for that 830 low to get taken out there. What's Waylon says, what's up? Waylon, I don't know, bro. I don't know if I got a pass to say that word on stream. Let's just call it ninja. Waylon, I don't know. If you give me the pass, Waylon, I might say it. But I'm not going to assume things. After all that, someone says, NQ, look, short bias. No, dude. Wait for 830 low to get taken out. And no, I don't think this is short biased. Yeah, we'll just stick to ninja for now. AJ says, I give you a pass. AJ Aaron. Let's see how this guy looks. Let's see if this guy looks like he can give me a pass. Oh, damn. AJ gave me the pass. Ken says, I'm black and I give you the pass. Y'all are crazy. Treasury yield going down? Yeah, because CPI came in good, right? So yields are going down. Now, hopefully the 10-year actually dips below 4. It's just been so fucking aggressive that throughout the Trump administration, it dipped like 4 basis points below 4 once. But him and Besant haven't been able to get the 10-year down, which is what they want, which is part of the reason why they're attempting to devalue the dollar. Because when the dollar goes down, yields are supposed to follow. You were bullish on yesterday's video if CPI came in at 2.4. One, retard, I didn't make a video yesterday. 2, I didn't make a video about CPI. I don't know who you're watching. I must admit, you were right about Adobe. Yeah, I mean, it's not about being right. It's just about following momentum. Now, I do think that software stocks are going to eventually catch a bid. Like, not all of them, and I think some of them are repriced forever, right? I think that some of them now will have a new range that they're trading within. Some of them will be goners, and some of them, the market will realize they can't live without. So, like, nobody is going to settle for, you know, an inferior version of Salesforce, say, for instance, right? That was coded, like vibe coded by a 16-year-old on ChatGPT. Like, it's already an available package that can work nicely with AI. So can Microsoft's stuff, right? At the enterprise level. Some stuff, in my opinion, will eventually go away. But like Duolingo, for instance, I think will be repriced forever. I think it will see a bounce because at some, like, if you're trying to learn a language, are you going to download a cheap app on your phone and pay a subscription and go through an already fully fledged out UI and user experience? Or are you going to open up ChatGPT or Gemini and try to get it to teach you how to learn Italian? You know what I mean? It's like, what's a realistic approach in the short term? But I do think in the long term, you know, once we get past the LLM stage and you have a robot that can talk to you in Spanish or whatever and teach you how to learn a language, I think that Duolingo in the long term is cooked. 100% it's cooked. But I think in the short to midterm, I don't think that AI is going to replace a Duolingo. But I think it will be repriced forever because it is coming in the long term. This idea of, you know, being able to learn a language through your Optimus robot walking around the house. Like, why would you need Duolingo? I thought if they devalue the dollar, foreign holders would demand higher yield. They'll get paid less in their own currency. No, the dollar goes down, yields go down, and vice versa. So we are going for data. This is 8:30. The chart on NQ is messed up, by the way. There's a missing candle in TradingView. I don't know about other platforms, but ES has 8:30 high right there. That's kind of fucked because that's part of the way that I trade is looking at ES and NQ. I wonder if MNQ has that candle missing. No. That's so funny. NQ has a candle missing. MNQ doesn't. Whoa, Jonah Spawn donated $100 to St. Jude's. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. This clown says VIX is up 21%. No, dude. VIX is not up 21%. VIX is down. The 21 is not a percentage. And he put an exclamation mark too. VIX is up 21%. Just like that, bottom is in, crash canceled. See, this is why This is why people don't make it in the market. Just plebs. Every candle bobbing their head up and down. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. Why do you get so much shade? I don't get so much shade. Who gives me shade? VIX should be lower today. Yeah, let the market open. It opens in 45 minutes. But I just need either data high or data low to get taken. Just mute the chat for what? BM&R is a good buy for the long term. Yeah, bro. It's a great buy for the long term. Buenos dias. What's going on, Silver Fox? Thoughts on Microsoft? Amazing. A lot of haywire shit happening right now. Oh, the Goldman Nutsack CEO's on Squawk Box. Let's see, do we have any more news today? I think that's it for news. It was just CPI. Did you close SMCI? What is this guy even talking about? I don't own SMCI. Where do you guys come up with this stuff? Some dude said I made a video about CPI yesterday. I didn't make a video. Some dude's asking me about a stock I don't even own. You said your last video, you thoughts Tesla will go lower. What's your thoughts? Wow, you guys really... So many people are trying to take short-term trades off videos. It's wild. Still didn't catch your name, sir? My name is your mama's daddy. That's my name. All right, I'm going to set an alert at the 8:30 high and low. Good morning from the West Coast. Were you already a morning person? Yes. Or else I would just move. I actually like trading West Coast hours. I like East Coast hours too, though. I'm not going to lie. It's completely, your day looks completely different depending on where you are. What I don't like is Asia hours. The most brutal of all the hours. So for those of you that are in Asia or Australia, New Zealand, New Guinea, Fiji, those are some terrible hours. And I empathize with you. That right there is CPI high and CPI low. And I need one of them to get taken on one index. Does anyone still believe the CPI data? No, And it also doesn't matter because what the fuck are you going to do? Protest at Howard Nutlick's house? Just trade what you see, man. Oh my God, the data is rigged. How can they do this? You still have access to the market. Any idea about Palantir? Yeah. No. Idea. Ideas. I was short Tesla, and I actually ended up closing it yesterday. But the fact that I think Tesla's going to get hit really hard in the next couple months. It's not so much CPI data, it's what the Fed will do. No, dude, it has nothing to do with what the Fed will do because the Fed is going to be sitting on their hands until May. You think that Jerome Powell's gonna institute any kind of policy? He's chilling. He's gonna be coasting until the new Fed come in. Indian accent time? No. I'm trading in Istanbul and the time change is a pain. Istanbul is not that bad. Green or red day? Purple. Mean I'll buy it again. So is the inflation report good or bad? Bro, you're not watching a Marvel movie. Trying to distill everything into good or bad doesn't make sense. Can the data high or low be mitigated without a full sweep? I don't even know what that means. What do you mean by full sweep? It's either swept or it's not. Is the data released? It says 8:30 CT. No, it's 8:30 EST, and yes, the data is released. CPI came in lower than expected, 2.4 versus 2.5, 0.3% core. Month over month came in at 0.2 versus 0.3. So for all intents and purposes, most of the CPI data came below expectations, meaning lower, meaning better. Whether it's good or bad, it doesn't matter because it depends on what the market does. And that's what you're going to trade. The market can go down on good news and go up on bad news. So good or bad is not a thing when you're trying to make money. Z, is this how you talk to your wife? No, this is how I talk to your wife. All right, looks like I think we'll get, so what I think will happen is I think that data high will get taken first, and then after market opens, one of them at least will sweep data low. The American one, appreciate your donation to St. Jude's, man. Thank you so much. I should have bet on the CPI more. Dude, it's not a sports bet. Also, what I assume you're talking about options. You're buying options in a high VIX environment, in a high IV environment, meaning you need an outsized move to make money. So right now, NASDAQ is up 0.15%. S&P is up 0.1%. Okay? Which means that if you did buy options, you would be crying at market open because it did not beat the expected move. And if volatility continues to drop, your options are going to get raked because you bought options in a high volatility environment and the market hasn't made the expected move. So no, you should not have bet more on CPI. If you're talking about buying stocks, yeah, in my opinion, anytime you see value, you should buy it. Options are going to get crushed. Exactly. Like this guy's crying over a 0.1% gain in NASDAQ. You even if you bought calls, you're getting smoked. So if you are going to buy calls, and I'm not saying do it, but if say you wanted to buy calls, the best time to do it would be once IV crush takes shape, meaning when the market opens, CPI is already out. So implied volatility will most likely be crushed because the volatility event is out the window, right? But yeah, think of IV like a point spread in sports betting. If you bet on your team to win, but they don't beat the spread, you're still going to lose. So you can bet on the market being green, but if it doesn't beat the expected move, your options are still getting killed. He probably did a prediction bet on CPI. That's a good point, bro. I totally forgot that existed. What do you think about Core Weave chart? I think that this chart is hideous. And I think that all of these data center stocks are going to see real pain soon. But yeah, you're going to get violent bounces that are going to draw dum-dums in. But in general, the trend is down. So until this trend is broken, this is a downtrend. Now, the one thing that I will give CoreWeave credit for that I can't say for all the other data centers is this right here. So when you see a stock retest its previous all-time high as support, right? So this right here was resistance. Came back and retested as support. That can fuel a rally, and you could actually get a breakout here of CoreWeave, right? That is great. But if you take a look at, say, Iron, it has this previous all-time high or IPO high, whatever, at 28. And it hasn't tested it yet. And I think that eventually we could get a bounce on iron. Let me just remove all this. Hold on. You could get a bounce on iron to take out these equal highs. But I do think iron is going to revisit that level. So CoreWeave, you have to give it credit for doing it pretty early in December, visiting its previous all-time high. That is a good sign. But evidently, we're still in a downtrend. What do you think of Microsoft? Just watch my videos, bro. I went over Microsoft already. What trades are you watching today? I'm watching NASDAQ and S&P, and I'm watching gold. And potentially Coinbase, because Bitcoin is catching a bid. Let's see what they're saying.
January CPI to run a little hotter than expectations. So I think that you get, a little bit light on headline. Core comes in where you thought. It still can tell a kind of Goldilocks disinflationary story. That was enough, at least, to kind of keep some of the pressure away, because we were looking at negative opens for the equity indexes. The 2-year yield drops to a cycle low. So it sort of restores whatever kind of dovishness you were anticipating that was taken away, maybe, by the slightly better than expected jobs report a couple days ago. So macro, that's where it, I think, sets up.
That's what Leisman said this morning as the report came out, gives the Fed some cover. You used the word Goldilocks. It was the word that I was going to use, feeling kind of like a fool using that just because of all the AI unrest in the market. It does feel, from a macro and economic standpoint, Goldilocks. I mean, the jobs report was better than expected. The CPI comes in lighter than expected. Growth is expected to be strong. Is that not a good environment for stocks if you can get out of the AI haze and upset?
It is, but I also think the macro is kind of the given for the stock market, at least at this stage, meaning most of what's been unsettling the market has been internal kind of investor positioning relative to expectations, relative to perceived threats of disruption. So I do think that we came into this year, everybody's expecting the economy to reaccelerate. Everyone's expecting there to be room for Fed rate cuts. Everyone's expecting double-digit earnings growth. Check, check, check. We're still on course for all those things. What you did have is, I think, kind of excessive positioning in a handful of trades. And, just a day ago, Carl, I was talking about how these measures of single stock volatility relative to how calm the indexes have been was basically as extreme as it's ever been in the last 30 years. Well, yesterday it spilled into the indexes. And why did it do that? Because the magical rotational powers of the market faltered, mostly because the cyclical side couldn't keep up its end of the bargain. Right? You had existing home sales a little bit weak, and they've done a lot of the work for a while. And then, of course, one of these phantom AI threats hits the transports, and it unsettles some of that.
You're referring to Michael Batnick's
I was hoping
number.
you were going to go there.
Last 8 sessions, 115 S&P names have declined 7% or more in a single day. Normally, when that happens, you're looking at major drawdowns.
Actually, I wasn't referring to that. When I did see it, I was referring to a sort of statistical calculation from Nomura saying, single stock 1 month change versus S&P. It doesn't matter. It tells the same story. So I think the big challenge for the market is, can we keep this an internal correction? Can we just sort of search and destroy in those particular areas that needed to have some of the air come out of them? Maybe some kind of, is this irrational sell-offs in some of these areas? Probably. But what does it say when you get extreme down?
So he's talking about this, actually, because I was looking at the same data. But over the past month, the S&P gain was 0%, right? So the S&P, like I was telling you guys at the beginning of the stream, the S&P hasn't moved, and it looks pretty calm. It looks pretty flat. But the stocks underlying the S&P, a lot of them are going haywire. So the average move on stocks is 11%, right? While the S&P is at 0% change. So that's what I was saying early on the stream, and that's what I was saying yesterday, that that type of craziness tends to resolve quickly. Like, it's not going to be like that forever. And you have two scenarios: either the stocks that are beat up, that are in the index, like the tech stocks, like Robinhood, for instance, like Netflix, those stocks either will rally and meet the rest of the stocks that are doing well, such as consumer staples, energy, cyclicals, or the rest of the market falls over, right? Those are the only two options. The other thing they were talking about is this one. It's funny. I know every single piece of data that they're mentioning because I look at so much every day. But here it says when 8-day rolling count of stocks are down 7% in the S&P 500 is greater than 115. Now, this is kind of mixed data, to be honest. And we just printed our first dot yesterday. But what this shows, at least, is one, that we never ever have singular dots, meaning singular readings, right? Where the rolling count of stocks in the S&P 500, 115 of at least 115 of the 500 stocks in the S&P 500 are down 7% on an 8-day rolling basis. You never just have one print. And yesterday we had one print, right? But you look at all the times that this happened. Sometimes it happens near bottoms, but what this shows is that it tends to, even near bottoms, it tends to have follow-up days. We've never seen just one singular dot like we saw yesterday, right? So this did happen during Liberation Day 2025, but it's not like the dot says that we're at the bottom. It's that we tend to have these capitulation drops following this, and it could bottom and it could be a short-term correction, which we can get into that. Or obviously you're going to get these readings in a crash, which in my opinion is kind of a given, right? In a crash, like the 2008 crash had already started, and then these dots start showing up midway all the way down to the bottom. But of course, when you're dealing with a catastrophic crash, like 2008, like 2000, these readings are going to start popping up because of course you're going to get 115 or more stocks in the S&P 500 down 7% on an 8-day rolling basis, right? So that to me is not emblematic of what's going on here, because this, we were already in crashes when this happened. But when you see the only time that we've ever seen it at a high is in 2000. And that is what kicked off the crash in 2000. So in my opinion, we are getting at least a correction. And my chart that I showed you guys, although I don't, again, claim to be Nostradamus, and this is not going to be 100% right, I do think that some form of this will happen this year. Whether it happens in February or March or April or May, some form of this will happen, in my opinion. And that is, a signal of that. But I don't expect a full-on bear market this year. Next year, year after, yeah, I think you're starting to deal with much heightened probabilities at that point. Anyway. Someone said, did you start hedging? No, but as you know, I did start de-risking a lot. So in my tax advantaged accounts, I'm out of most things. And just nibbling on value where I see it, right? So like Amazon trading at a 21 PE, Microsoft trading at a 22 PE. Like these are things at 22 forward PE, 21 forward PE. Like these are historically cheap valuations for these companies. Wow, data high was not taken before now attempting to address data low. Again, that's what I'm waiting for. The market opens in 19 minutes. Wonder if I can refresh. How do I refresh this chart here? Is Netflix a buy 75? I don't know who you are, bro. Is it a buy for you? I don't know what your investing goals are. I don't know what your portfolio looks like. You have to decide if it's a buy, not me. I don't manage your money, dude. I have a Apple put option and I'm scared. Well, probably shouldn't be trading then. Sounds like you're just trying shit and hoping it hits like a sports bet. How the hell do you refresh the app? I need to refresh this because I'm missing that 8:30 candle and it's vital for me to trade. Are you about to go short or what, man? Motherfuckers have zero patience. That's the type of dude that goes to the strip club at lunch. Zero impulse control. Click on another ticker and then back to refresh. That might be a good tip. Let's see. No, still there. Thank you for trying, but I'm missing that candle. I think what I'm going to do is quit. And hopefully come back. He's the type to bet on New England. No. Unlike you, I don't sit around and watch football. All right, that worked. Cool. Did the CPI drop yet? Yes. 1 second. I gotta log in here. 1 second, guys. What level do you think SoFi is a buy? I'll be honest, it's not my type of stock. So do I buy or wait still? Probably you shouldn't be trading if you're asking a stranger online. Data high taken? Not on ES or NQ. On gold, yes, you're 100% right. Whoever, I don't know if that was what you were suggesting. On gold, data high was taken, 100%. I don't even know about CPI anything until yesterday. Yeah, so like I said, you shouldn't be trading. It's perfectly fine to be a beginner. It's perfectly fine to not know things. It's not perfectly fine to just throw your money around and hope for the best and not know what's going on. That's, in my opinion, that's not, you have all the time in the world to paper trade, write down your learnings, document what actually happened, learn about the Greeks. Throwing money at it is not really going to teach you much. Besides, it will eventually teach you that you shouldn't just be throwing money around. What are those red and green bubble indicators called? I have no idea what you're talking about. I honestly have no idea what you mean. I don't, red and green bubble indicators? Oui. I hope gold keeps going up. But there might be a short down to data low here. The market opens in 12 minutes. Let me look at silver real quick, just to compare. Oh, yeah, we have divergence between silver and gold. Let's see what happens here. There might be a short down to data low. Do you trade stocks? Dude, the market is not open right now. So right now you can only trade futures. I think there's a short on gold. But I have to wait for confirmation. Let's see here. And I like that the indices are going for data low. What? I get what dude is saying. Nobody will be 100% knowledgeable. Dude, of course nobody will be 100% knowledgeable. There's a huge difference between taking your money and throwing it at something that you're not even going to take 10 minutes to learn about and taking your time to gain the knowledge. What I'm telling you is really good advice, and you could take it or leave it. But you don't have to get defensive about it. I'm telling you because I have experience. Yes. Obviously, I've made every mistake in the book. So instead of being soft about it, just take the fucking advice and stop trading with real money. And anytime you have a question, Google it and put it down somewhere in a Notion template, in your notes app on your phone. But buying options and hoping for the best is not, it's not a strategy. See, like someone saying the difference between stocks and futures. While you're watching the stream, you can easily open up a window and ask Google, Gemini, or ChatGPT, or whatever you like, what is the difference between stocks and futures? And it will literally take you 5 minutes to read that. And if you're looking it up on your own and you're writing it down in your little book of learning, it's going to stick much better. What is the thesis behind a gold short now? I'm not shorting it yet. I need to see confirmation. But what happened is we took 830 high, which is the CPI high, and we did not take 830 low. And then here on the left, I have silver, and silver made a lower high and gold made a higher high. So if we confirm a close below this imbalance here, then I will want to take a short towards data low. People watch to learn stuff, not just say, go Google this, Google that. All right, bro. I can't help a weak mindset, dude. When I wanted to learn, I was fucking Googling for hours. So You can watch and learn how it is that I trade, but if you have a basic question, like what are futures, you can Google that and read. There's nothing wrong with that. Some of you are soft, man. This short on GC is a 3-to-1. A little less. If you took it all the way to data low, yeah, it's a 3-to-1. But I'm not short yet. I need confirmation. So just waiting here. And the market opens in 4 minutes, so we'll likely see some violence at market open. Just waiting to see what happens. And then in terms of the indices, they're just chopping around. So at the open, we'll likely see the move that it wants to make. But that right there, this right here is data low. And that right there is data low. Let's see what happens here. I fired so many programmers for not being able to Google, just sat there stuck. Yeah, bro, it's the weakest mindset. Anglictina says, you will never make it without curiosity. Oof. She's right about that. Random shark still crying. Wow. Amazing. I do want to look at some stocks here because I think that whoa, Coinbase is already at 153 pre-market. Hood is at 73 pre-market, up a little bit. I think the crypto names or crypto-related names like Coin, Hood, I think they will have potential trades today. The chips look, oh my God. But the chips are not rallying with this, by the way. And if Google takes that low right there, if Google takes this low, okay, I think it just did, then I might be interested. Let's see here. Come on, give me a confirmation. If it gives me confirmation, below that. Don't keep going. All right, so we just took data low on NASDAQ. ES didn't. This is what I was saying. I need at least one of the indices to do that. Fuck. Yeah, no confirmation here. And once NQ took data low and ES didn't, we are going up, but we are about to take data high too. These GLD calls are pumping here. I'm about to close these out. For a nice 1,300 gain. Those are ones that I opened yesterday. Didn't get confirmation on this yet. There's still divergence between gold and silver. So I might want to short this back down to data low. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so we hit this level here, this previous low at the golden pocket. That level right there. In the 4-hour fair value gap with that divergence. Let's see if there's a short here. Okay, Google took out that low. There might be a long in the works on Google back to 313-ish. Not yet, though. At this open move, you're going to need a lot of confirmation because you're going to see wild swings for the first 15 minutes at least. So ES tapped data low. NQ took it out. Let's see here. If this confirms, I think it's an A+ trade. I'm gonna set an alert here so I don't miss it. The indices are gonna be a mess here, so I'm gonna stay out of that. Come on, give me a CISD. I'm gonna take this short to data low. I'm hoping that silver doesn't get there first. But this is essentially my trade here. I mean, the fact that, whoops. The fact that silver took data low doesn't make me happy. Up $2,000 here. 2,500, no. Ooh, 3,000. I'm gonna take this off here. Quick little scalp. Gold has so much relative strength that honestly, even though like my thesis is data low, I'm okay scalping here in the morning before catching a bigger move, because I don't know that it makes it all the way to data low since silver had already taken it out. But quick 3K move there. I was waiting for this trade for now an hour, 45 minutes. But essentially on the high time frame, we had the 4-hour fair value gap. And if you pull up the fib, that's right at the golden pocket. And this wick right here, this isn't exactly a breaker, but it can act as a breaker, right? We tapped into that. The fact that gold took data high and silver didn't, and you can see this divergence here between gold and silver. That tipped me off right there, and then I just waited for a 2-minute CISD right there. And frankly, silver tipped its hand already, so I kind of did front run it because I saw this on silver. It almost told me that gold was for sure going to do that. So I entered one contract before this candle even closed. And then I entered another when this candle closed. So for those of you that were crying about me not taking a trade or whatever, I mean, I'm not concerned with that. If it sets up, it sets up. If not, not. So I closed the gold calls that I had from yesterday, and I shorted gold with futures. But I hope that that trade made sense. If you have another question about it, let me know. Gold did end up just taking 830 low. And it was a much easier trade, in my opinion, than the indices. But now that the indices took data low, I think there could be a long in the works here. It should be called waiting, not trading. Yeah. When you see such a divergence, how do you know which one is in the right direction? That's a very good question. And it's framed a little, I don't want to say incorrectly, but it's there's a misconception that you have there with that question. I'll explain it in a second. But that's a great question. I'll answer, I promise. I think there might be a long here now. Nice way to start the morning. Because I waited for that trade forever. So to answer, what was your name? I'm sorry. Razvan, or if you're Pakistani, it's Razvan. To answer your question, I'm not looking at which one. I don't really care about which one because I primarily trade gold. So even just like when I look at NQ and ES, I'm not primarily looking at which one. I'm looking to trade my primary one, and the divergence just tips your hat to the move. So gold and silver are moving in unison, granted by different degrees, right? Meaning one might be down 8% and the other one might be down 3%. But in terms of direction and levels, right? Asia high, Asia low, data high, data low. So I'm primarily trading gold. I'm not interested, for the most part, in day trading silver. The divergence isn't for me to pick which one I'm going to trade. The divergence tips my hat that both are going in a general direction, and the divergence gives you an early clue with confirmation of levels and all that that's going to happen, right? So again, like for me, this trade started on the high time frame. So high time frame, 4-hour fair value gap, high time frame Fibonacci, high time frame hitting that candle right there now is resistance. Those are all my confluences. Low time frame, data high was taken. CPI high is right there. Silver didn't. So that's one divergence. Two divergence made a higher high. Silver made a lower high. And then the confirmed entry, the entry model that I used for this was what's called a change in the state of delivery, or CISD. So after it hits major liquidity levels, then this order block here is closed below. And my target was either silver or gold, whichever one hits 830 low first, which was CPI low. So the other person who asked me, what significance is data high and low? They're just liquidity levels that are going to get hunted. So I hope that answers your question. Boris Serrano, appreciate you, man. Always donating. I met him one time in the airport in Miami. $20 to St. Jude's. Appreciate you. Sanzev92 donated $10 to St. Jude's. Appreciate you. Chat, is the CPI announcement done? No, bro. It's going to happen Saturday. Saturday at noon. Tune in. This is Mastermind Juju, by the way. Yes, this is something we go through in the Mastermind. Google, I think, looks like it has a chance for calls here. It's not confirmed yet, but I think there could be a potential trade. So if you look at Google, all I needed to do really is get above yesterday's low. If it's below yesterday's low, I cannot take calls here. So this right here is yesterday's low. Stoic Coder, appreciate your donation to St. Jude's, man. Thank you. Not forcing and good analysis is why you make money. Yes, that's true. I really like you on Discord, but I enjoy YouTube. Congratulations. He so rarely compliments a question like that. Because it's a great question. He's not asking me what are futures, or what is NQ, or what time is CPI. Like, that is enraging. Literally, what time is CPI? What time is CPI? Holy shit, Google has the fucking answer. Wow. Wow. But if you're asking, you know, how do you determine which one to trade? Or, I mean, these are great trading questions. These are not intuitive things. Suman Deepsharan donated 101 to St. Jude's. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. See? Not man. I'm a lady coder. Okay. Stoic coder. I apologize for misgendering you. Thank you, woman. Daryl. What's up, Daryl? $20 to St. Jude's. Appreciate you, man. Hey, what is trading? Wonderful trade. Sumi here. Oh, Sumi, what's going on? Sorry. I was pronouncing your name like I didn't know who you were. Yeah, in my opinion, I think Tesla does get down to at least those 360s. We might have caught the most A+ trade of the day. I love how all the haters disappear after he books a win. Yeah, bro, because they're soft like Charmin. They're going to go back to fucking sports betting or whatever. Whatever low IQ activity that they equate with grinding. Why didn't indices not gapping up after a good CPI print? Oh my God. How are your plants doing? Yeah, the plastic plants are being watered. Charmin is at least useful. I want to see what Tesla does if it revisits this trend line here. Wonder if we can get a short on iron. No, Amazon took out this low right here. Yes, this is a huge gap, but Amazon is at the golden pocket. You know, I mean, down 23%, trading at 421 earnings. Like, you can't not buy Amazon there. Hood might make a run for 80. I might increase my position on this stock. I was waiting for this level here. That 66 level might not get there. Already in the golden pocket. We'll see how it reacts to this gap. And coin took out this low here. You can see the last time in 2025 when it took out that low, it had a run from 142 to 445. You know, actually, wait, did Bitcoin rally with it proportionally? Yeah, that's when Bitcoin went from 74 to 126. Bitcoin definitely needs to bottom for coin to bottom, that's for sure. And I still think Bitcoin can get to the 50s. Google's still not above yesterday's low. It has to get above yesterday's low and bounce off it. Otherwise, this is not a trade here. Meta will look interesting to me for a swing if it takes out that gap. Yeah, I think Palantir, even though I'm personally not, I don't know what you would say, like a super fan of the stock or whatever. From a technical perspective, this head and shoulders move is likely, not likely, plausibly this drop below the neckline at this level. You see how this level is 125. We found consolidation at around 125, and then we dropped today to 126. I would not be surprised if it starts finding support here. Let me look at something real quick too. I'm really scared of options and avoid them, but in your opinion, is selling puts better than limit order? Oof. Respectfully, you shouldn't be trading with real money right now. And I say that respectfully, okay? I'm not, your understanding of basic market, the basic market is not even close to a level where you should be putting money in the market. Options, selling puts, and limit orders are not even apples to apples. They're not even in the same ballpark. Selling puts is an option strategy. Limit orders are a type of order that in the market that are associated with all types of strategies, whether you're buying stocks, buying puts, selling puts, buying calls, selling calls. A limit order and selling puts are not mutually exclusive. So in my opinion, just based on that question, you should not be in the market with real money. If you just buy and hold stocks or something, fine. But you should not at all be touching real money right now with that type of question. This is really scaring me here. The fact that all of the gamma on the S&P is down at 6750. That likely means, if this holds true, I know it's still early, and it is options expiration Friday. But the fact that none of these strikes are lighting up and the only gamma that we have is 6750. That means S&P will make a new low today? It doesn't look like it. That may be a distorted print so far because it is early. I need Google to get above this. Yeah, I think Hood can get to 80. Honestly, it's like unobstructed. If it gets above this, which is yesterday's low, and it's already above it, Hood can have a monster day. $79. VIX is slightly higher today. You're right, Lynn. What's going on, Lynn? Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, it is slightly higher, that's for sure. Is there a way to determine when theta really accelerates in the life of an option? Yeah, the closer you get to expiration. "30 days, theta starts accelerating, and then more and more every single day until you get to expiration. What is VIX? It's something that you take when your throat is sore. Nebia's swing trade looked really good here. I'm not going to lie. Are you Egyptian? No. Look at gold. I already traded gold, bro. Are you going to the World Cup? Yes. Are you long Robinhood yet? I've been in Robinhood. With options, no. But I think it has a chance to bounce off yesterday's low. Something like that. He's Moroccan. No. Why not get options now for Hood? Why don't you? I hope he's not a Manchester United fan. No, I don't care about English football. One second. I'll be right back. I gotta go do something. 1 second. But thinking about taking this here on Hood, if we retest yesterday's low. So that right there is yesterday's low. We're above it now. So this would be like a break and retest. Damn, bro. Money is printing today. You guys think I should stream on YouTube every Friday? Iranian. No, dude, I'm not. I got love for Iranians, bro. I'm not Iranian. Indian. See, this guy just wants me to do the Indian accent. That's why he says that. I might live stream on YouTube every Friday. Oh, by the way, guys, I need you to do something. Hold on before I go. And I'm just going to step out for 1 second. I'll be right back. But I need you guys to do something. I'm horrible at announcements, but we are coming up. I'm building, in the middle of building an app from the ground up called AlphaScope. This is going to be, in my opinion, your best friend when you are looking for analysis and fundamentals. One page powerhouse, no more endless scrolling. It's going to be, I'm going to make it as cost effective as possible, less than $20 a month. Instant clarity. You get every single data point that I use personally at the click of a button to analyze a stock and determine whether it's undervalued and whether it's something that fits in your portfolio or not, right? It's designed for quick decision making and not going through pages and pages and pages of fucking data to find all of the relevant information that you need to find about a company. So you just type in a ticker symbol, boom, right then and there, one page, all of the fundamentals you need. And the initial rollout, we're going to cap it at either 1,000 or 5,000 users. We already actually have over 1,000 people on the wait list. So you will get first privileged access to this if you sign up to this wait list. And when it's out, you will have a chance to sign up to the account. And then we're going to do a couple of really cool giveaways as well, giving away yearly subscriptions to this for the people that are on the list. Demo it? I can't right now, bro. It's not in demo form. I can build this for you. It's already like almost to the finish line. But sign up right there. Make it free, please. You don't need that $20. This is what retarded people say when they've never run a business. Are you going to pay the developers? You going to pay my employees? Make it free. It's fucking $19. How about you work for free? Fucking communist retards that have never run a business. Make it free. $19 once or monthly. Oh my God, bro. I can see why people fail in the market. Anyway, it's there. Sign up for those of you that are actually serious. Are you going to do signals in the app? No, dude. Did you post a link in the Discord? Yeah, I posted it in announcements. This is pure comedy. I know it, dude. Are you sure you want to do this every Friday? You're right. I changed my mind. Crypto engineer. I appreciate you. Wow, Hood is running to my target without any pullbacks. I'd really like to see Gamma start lighting up here. And I think as the day progresses, we will get it. But it is OPEX Friday, at least for the weeklies. Next week is the monthly. Using data from SBGI or FactSet. It's a mix, proprietary, but the data comes from Massive, which used to be Polygon, I think. But it is a mix. Hood IV 5219. IV is not a dollar denomination. All right. I think gold, if we close above this 4-hour fair value gap, I think gold stages another rally. above this week's high. Let's see. But I'm not taking a trade here. And the indices, they took both data high and data low. Actually, ES still hasn't taken data high. That's wild. I think it will, but it still hasn't. What's your opinion on the market with the government shutdown happening? What is this guy talking about? Yeah, this gamma here is still open at 67.50. So on SPX, that would be wild. That means a new low of the day on SPX? Possible. I mean, it did not take out data high yet. $67.50 on SPX is down here. Does that align with anything? That just means that we get close to December low. And QQQ, I mean, it still hasn't visited the 200 day. I think QQQ can do something like this by next week. Something like this. Anyway, I'll be right back. 1 second. All right, sorry about that, guys. Stream every day? No, dude. I'll go crazy. What's the new low you're expecting for SPX? I'm not expecting a new low for SPX. I'm saying the gamma on SPX is concentrated at 67.50. Ah, I missed my day trade entry. Let's see, what is going on with gold here? What are the indices doing? How long should I practice for switching to real money? Only you can answer that, bro. You have been the most accurate and insightful YouTuber in the space. I appreciate you. I really put I put a lot into this, man. You know, even those of you that are not on the Discord, like, I really just want to put good information out there and have people think about the markets the right way. And it doesn't mean that I'll be right every time. I certainly am not. But every thesis is thought out and built with intention. Yeah, you're right. The indices are a shit show, and I'm certainly not trading this here. And Hood is just with. I think Hood is one of the stocks that will make full recovery in long term. But we'll be very curious. We're starting to see some calls up here, 6880, 6885, 69. Finally getting to undervalued levels on Visa card, but back to the same level it was end of January. I'll be honest, I really want it to dip, MasterCard to dip down to March lows, because I think that the deeper the discount is on here, the better, because these stocks don't move a lot. But if you look at the monthly, going all the way back to '08. That's Visa. If you look at MasterCard, I think it goes back even further to '06. I mean, you really can't go wrong if you're Visa or MasterCard. All they do is just make money off transactions. The software stocks are rebounding here for the day. Okay, market's finally making a move out of this range. Wonder if we get a long on the indices here. I think that high's in zone for ES. I don't know that we get a retracement here. Did Google get above yesterday's low yet? Oh, why didn't it give me an alert? Oh, it didn't. So that, whoops, shit. That right there is yesterday's low. I think there could be a long on Google here, guys. Let me see if I can get this. Feb 20 is next week. We're starting to get above yesterday's low. I think there could be a play. And that right there, by the way, so that's yesterday's low. That's 9:30 open. This is a major level if we get above and retest it. And I think that there would be a play to get to at least yesterday's PM high at 313. So I'm looking at the 310 calls expiring next Friday. But we need to close above this, in my opinion. Let me look at the 1 hour. I mean, this all looks good to me. And I bet you this is at the golden pocket here. Yep. Took out previous week's low. And now we're getting above yesterday's high or yesterday's low. But 930 is right there. 930 open. And yesterday's low is right there. This can easily be a rejection level. So we need to close above that. So not yet. Okay, insane rejection there. Haven't yet closed above it. That's why confirmation is so vital. Gold once again showing us divergence here. Still haven't gotten above. Major divergence between gold and silver. You can see here gold took out previous day high. Silver didn't. To me, there might still be a short here. Maybe down to Asia low? Let's see. Let's see what happens off this 3-minute fair value gap. Google might try this again. I don't, for me, it doesn't matter. I'll leave it be until it sets up. What stocks are these? It's right there, bro. Right there, as big as day. All I want for Christmas is a lifetime membership to Z. Miss Mars, Christmas, respectfully, was 2 months ago. Yeah, silver looks bearish to me here. Gold will require a little bit more to drop. Oh my God. 1 second. I need to log into this shit. I think there may be a short here, guys. Just trying to find a way to get there. We did get technically a 2-minute CISD. Let me see something. Oi! You crazy, man. Hella divergence between gold and silver. I think silver makes it down. Silver can make it down to Asia low, or at least that low right there. We'll see what happens here. Oh shit, it gave us that level right there after the 1 minute. Ay, mierda. Shit. I need confirmation here. But I think we get a shorty. I think we get a shorty. The 1 minute gave the hand, bro. Up there was the fucking short. All right, let's see what happens here. My God, don't fucking tank, dude. Oh, you. I wonder if it gives us. Dun, 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 dun. Culo. I think it'll give us a 3 minute here. At 3 minute at 9:30, yeah, I'm taking that shit. As long as silver doesn't take that out. Google, you piece of shit, did not give us the close. Did not give us the close. God, I'm so glad I'm not trading the fucking indices today. Shit. Do you have a Substack? No, bro. What do you think? I'm sitting here fucking writing all day like Ernest Hemingway in a cafe? Why the hell would I have a Substack? Let's see if we get that. If we get that, I'll be a happy guy. 5023. NQ looks like S. Why is Google tanking so much? Oh my god. Oh my god, it's down 1%. Why is it tanking so much? All I need is for Google to close above yesterday's low. All I need in this life is sin. Me and my girlfriend. I swear, if this just tanks, I should have caught it off the 1 minute, bruh. I would have been in up here, bruh. You bloody bastard. You bloody dumb fuck. Fuck. This up here was fucking A+, bro. Shit. Could have made 10 G's today. fuck. That was easy peasy. That was like the market handing it to you on a fucking silver platter. God damn it. I still think there's a continuation, by the way. I think that if you look at this, this is a fucking whoopsie shit. If you look at this, this is a classic sell model here. If I had to guess, gold gets down here and silver gets down there, can even take Asia low if I was a betting man. If I was a betting man, oh, Google's down 1% today, but almost 8% on the month. Yeah, but nobody fucking asks how Google did this while everything else was tanking. Everyone wants to ask, why is it down 8% in 1 month? It had amazing earnings. All right, what? You just wanted to keep going up? Well, everything was fucking in the dumps on crack. Google was flying high. Of course. So what? It tanks 8%. Microsoft's down 30. Netflix is down 50. Amazon's down 23. Oh no, Google's down 8%. How could it be? It did great on earnings. Use your brain, bro. It's okay for stocks to retrace. Think about it. If you're so bullish on Google, you want that. Buy it. Paul Wall Street, you sound like an Indian Magneto. Z is Pakistani for sure. Bro, you need a better prescription. If that's what you think. How did Google do that while everything was tight? Oh my God, bro. Google still has a chance. Yeah, Google is a beast. Oh my God, this guy did not say Jay-Z. You know what? All right. Those of you old heads are going to understand this. But the guy saying Jay-Z, because I sang a snippet of a song where I said, what song was it? I said, all I need in this life is sin. And the guy says Jay-Z. That dude needs to be taken out back behind the barn. Actually, he's not even dignified enough for the barn. Should be taken where you leave the trash for the trash man. That's where that dude should be taken out and executed for quoting, for saying that that is a Jay-Z song. No, that is a Tupac song. And what's even sadder than that is Tupac used to hate Jay-Z. And they waited for Tupac to die. And then Jay-Z's corny ass, said, you know what would be great? If I remix this Tupac song, Me and My Girlfriend, and I do it with Beyonce. And he literally jacked the dude that dissed him until his dying day. The dude that hated him until his dying day, he decided to perform his song. So to the guy that says that is a Jay-Z song, you need to be taken out to where the trash man does his pickup. There, my God. Yeah, trading the indices is trash. If you took Hood, it paid the bills. Gold was an absolute beast in the morning. Absolute beast right now. Didn't catch my entry for the second trade. I really like the way price is delivering on gold. And I think that will continue to pay for the rest of the day. And I'm going to wait patiently on Google. If it doesn't happen by 1 p.m. Eastern, then I'm abandoning that trade. I'm going to decide what to do with Tesla. As I said, I closed the short yesterday. This was an A+ swing on Nebius, man. All right, guys, sign up for alphascope.trade to be notified when we finally launch. This is going to be, I swear, I built it from the ground up. It's all, like all of the criteria comes from me. Literally every single metric. The way that I look at the market and analyze whether I want to invest in something, it will be spit out on one page. You just type the ticker and you get it. No expensive subscriptions, no sifting through pages and pages, trying to work it out yourself. Literally everything there on one page. So sign up. It's the link that's posted in the chat box. It's pinned to the top. We're going to cap it. But if you're on the list, you get access to be able to sign up. And then we're going to give away a few memberships as well soon. If you're on the list, a few yearly memberships. Interesting. I wonder if we make it back up to 9:30. I might retake this short. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Mm, 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 mm. I think this goes up to OTE. We have a 5-minute BPR right there. Let's see what happens. Did you do tech work again? Revisit the past? I'm not sure what you mean. No, dude, I didn't code it myself. I'm working with a team of developers, telling them exactly what I want. Johnny Cordova says, I'm picking up trash right now, bro. I'll come get him. Yeah. Dude saying Jay-Z. Me and My Girlfriend is a Jay-Z song. What's next? Hit him up. This is what? A Little Yachty song? Little Uzi Vert? Is it an app or website? It's a site, and we are going to develop an app as well. But it's a site. All Indians can code. My team is not Indian. Well, I don't know. There for sure might be Indians on the coding team, but they're not based in India. They're based in the UK, actually. Inflation came in hot. Yeah, hot like your mama's breath. Inflation did not come in hot. And you can easily look that up. All right, 2 things I'm looking for. Google to get above this. And gold to get up here. SPY Gamma. SPX Gamma, there's a lot down here, but again, it is Friday expiration. But we are starting to get some buildup up here. Not a whole lot. Let's see if that prints. You have a lot of patience with new traders, good karma for you. Damn, bro, you might be the first person that ever said this. I'm glad you think so. I didn't get a chance to look at inflation report. Can you give me a quick overview? No, you can fuck off and go Google it yourself while I'm trying to find trades for everyone else and stop being lazy. All right, gang. If we can get above 307. Man, I totally missed the 1 minute up here. It's not newbies. The guy is asking me stuff that he can Google. He's like, give me a quick rundown of what happened. How about you just look it up? It will take you 2 seconds and you'll learn a lot more. I'm going to repeat the CPI for every person that joins and wants to know what happened. If I want to know what happened on CPI, I would easily say, what happened on CPI? What happened on the last CPI report? Here, I'll show you how to Google. Oh my God, bro. Google spits it out and it's free. How does this happen? It's all right there. Oh shit, and it comes out with all of the news articles that I can easily click and read for free. Come on, bro. I'm trying to make people money. I'm not trying to enable your laziness. Ugh. Well, this just turned into a boring day. Yeah, I think Tesla overall still might be a short here. You see this trend? This trend has been since December 19th. We did get a little fake out above yesterday and then close below. To me, that's a sign that this is likely weaker. One other thing is, if you look at Tesla trades, it's like the fucking Bitcoin of stocks, dude. Like, look at this. 75% down. 55%, 54% down, right? 56% down. Like, it has no problem. 64% down. And right now, we are only 16% down. And I think Google's going to get here easily to Tesla's going to get here at least to 367, and that's only 26% down. So, yeah, I agree with you. All right, let's see if we can get up to 930 on gold and take it down to that AM level. I wonder if it impulses into entry up here. That's crazy. So let's see if we can get down to there. No. Yeah, on the 15-minute, this looks really good too. There is a chance that 5032.7, 503. I wonder if this 15-minute high is protected. Let's see. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Okay, silver's rejecting. Definitely the weaker one. Would like to see a continuation rejection on gold. But right now it's just hanging out up here. Let's see. I don't like that it's above 930. Silver and gold are moving in completely opposite directions, which doesn't bode well for a short on the stronger one so far. But let's see. Google seems to be taking a hit. Yeah, I'm not in Google, dude. Needed confirmation above yesterday's low. It's strongly above 930 now. Need to get back below 930 for this to work out. All right. So 3K on the first trade and minus 1,200 on that trade. So not bad. Not the greatest, but 1,800 for the day. Still in the green. I still think that might work out, but obviously I can't take it again just yet. Silver would have been a better, I mean, hindsight, obviously, but silver would have been better there. And then I did miss my A+ short from here. And I was hoping that there would be a continuation from 930 back down to this low. So I still think there could be. That wasn't it. And that's perfectly fine. I'm going to take a break before taking another trade here. And I still think that if Google makes this move before 1 p.m. where we close above yesterday's low, then I do think that there is a long on Google. Juicy IV for cover calls. Yeah, I mean, VIX is still relatively high, so yeah, I guess. All right, guys. Appreciate you joining. Thank you guys for rocking with me. Make sure you sign up for AlphaScope. Link is in the top comment in the chat box. Glad we made money today. Gave a little bit back there. Still green on the day, so not tripping. And the day's not over yet. But for the rest of you, I will see you guys in the Discord. Peace.